A very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
A tense situation arose at the United National Party Parliamentary Group meeting today.
Well, we have a full report on this later on in the news, but for now, let's take a look at the headlines.
The Prime Minister says that a proposal will be presented to Parliament to remove the state of emergency. A proposal presented to UNP Parliamentary Group that Karujaya Surya is suitable for party leadership. The United States says that at no time did US aircraft approach Sri Lanka's airspace. And the British Prime Minister says that Parliament is being recalled to tackle the riots in London.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is on an official 4-day visit to China, is scheduled to meet Chinese President Hu Jintao on Friday. Sri Lanka's ambassador to China, Ranjit Oyangoda, said that President Rajapaksa arrived in Beijing at 8 a.m. Chinese time.
Executive Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, Zhang Ziyong, warmly received the President at the Beijing International Airport. The Sri Lankan ambassador in China said that a high-level Chinese government delegation, including the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, was also present at the airport. He added that bilateral talks are scheduled to be held between President Mahinda Rajapaksa and Chinese Prime Minister Wen Jiabao on Thursday. President Rajapaksa will also attend the opening ceremony of the World University Games, known as the Summer Universiade, being held in Shenzhen as a special guest of the Chinese president. President Mahinda Rajapaksa is engaging in this 4-day official visit on an invitation extended by his Chinese counterpart during a bilateral meeting held on the sidelines of the economic summit held in St. Petersburg, Russia last June.
The motion to extend the state of emergency by one more month was passed in Parliament by a majority of 80 votes today. 110 votes were cast in favour of the motion, while 30 votes were cast against it. The United National Party, the Democratic National Alliance and the Tamil National Alliance voted against this motion to extend the state of emergency by another month. Meanwhile, speaking in Parliament today, Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne said that steps are being taken by the government to remove the emergency regulations in consultation with the National Security Council. The Premier made this statement while opening the emergency debate.
I would like to inform that the government is taking measures to remove the emergency regulations under the advice of the National Security Council, and it will be presented to Parliament as a proposal in the future. Investigations are continuing to be carried out about LTT front organizations that are still at large. Based on information revealed by them, ammunition and explosives are being uncovered. I would also like to note that these arrests cannot be done instantly. I believe that all members in Parliament will extend their support to extend the state of emergency by another month in order to maintain law and order on behalf of everyone who welcomes peace, to maintain public safety as well as to protect state assets. On this occasion, we believe that the Prime Minister will lift the state of emergency. Locally as well as internationally, pressure is being exerted on the government to lift the state of emergency. We are saddened by the fact that the state of emergency has been extended for another month. We would like to place on record our objection to this.
Speaking in Parliament today, DNA parliamentarian Anuru Kumara Dissanayake said that Sri Lanka has turned out to be the only country where the post of Auditor General has been left vacant for about a year. He expressed this view while forwarding a question under standing orders.
Honourable Speaker, according to my knowledge, I am not aware about a country where the post of Auditor General was vacant for about a year anywhere in the world. It has not been seen throughout history either. Thereby, Sri Lanka will be the only country where the post of Auditor General has been left vacant for a year. There is also a wonder. Keeping this post vacant for about a year is more alarming as there are many irregularities taking place in the financial control of several institutions which come under the purview of the Auditor General. It is a normal administrative practice to appoint an individual in an acting capacity to fulfill the duties and responsibilities of a particular position until a permanent individual is appointed by the relevant authority. The Auditor General is a state official. Thereby, the appointment has to be done in accordance with laid down procedure. It is sufficient. Various issues have cropped up owing to the delay. It would have not arisen if it was done at the beginning itself.
Still in news from the House of Legislation, United National Party parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa, speaking in Parliament today, inquired about the teacher transfer policy.
නියෝජ්‍ය මන්ත්‍රීතුමනි ඔබතුමා ප්‍රකාශ කරත් ගුරුමාරු ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් නිර්මාණය වී තිබෙනවයි කියලා.
Deputy Minister, you were speaking on the creation of a teacher transfer policy. This teacher transfer policy, which is transparent and devoid of politics, is not being implemented today. That is the reality. Therefore, what measures have been taken to rectify this?
ඒක තමයි යථාර්ථය. ඒ නිසා මේ වැරද්ද නිවැරදි කරන්නට මොකක්ද ගන්න ක්‍රියාමාර්ග? විශේෂයෙන්ම ඊටම සංවේදී කටයුත්ත.
It is a very sensitive activity. Honorable Speaker, we have to carry out this on some occasions based on the just and humanitarian requests made by the teachers.
ඒ කටයුතු කිරීමට සිදු වෙනවා ගරු කතානායකතුමනි. ඇයි දිරිදීමනා ලබා දීමේදී
Teachers in the northwestern province are given an incentive. The incentive is 10 to 15% of the salary. 10% if it is difficult and 15% if it is hazardous. This is granted to the northwestern and Sabaragama province teachers. If there is such a strong and meticulous program, then why is this program not implemented in the southern province as yet?
ඇයි අදටත් මේ වැඩසටහන දකුණු පළාතේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? ගරු කතානායකතුමනි.
Honorable Speaker, I reject the allegations made stating that it is not implemented in the south. Teacher training is conducted, but there is a problem with regard to the incentives.
The United States says that at no time did the USS Ronald Reagan or its aircraft approach Sri Lanka's territorial sea or airspace. A media release issued by the US Embassy in Colombo states that recent press reports indicate that Sri Lanka Air Force, which monitors a large flight identification region that extends beyond Sri Lanka's territorial airspace, monitored the transit and routing operations of the carrier's aircraft.
The U.S. Embassy in Colombo stated that the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan with the company's ships recently transited the Indian Ocean returning to the Pacific. The release went on to say that it conducted routine flight operations during the transit through waters beyond the territorial sea of any state. It noted that U.S. naval aircraft operate with due regard for the safety of civil aviation. The U.S. Embassy also stated that the Charge d'Affaires on August 2nd informed the Minister of External Affairs that the transit had occurred and the Defense Attache's office was in full communication with the Ministry of Defense that same evening.
A proposal to appoint Karujaya Surya as the leader of the United National Party was approved during the party's parliamentary group meeting today. The co-deputy leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, made this proposal while parliamentarian Ranjit Madhuba Bandara seconded it.